Hello and welcome to another watercolor painting, everyone. We are going to be painting this beautiful wildflower landscape, which I've done a couple of recently, but this one has this gorgeous lilac sky. So I'm grabbing, we're going to be working with purple hues, so you can grab a nice lilac color if you have one, or just like really watered down purple will do as well. No need to be fussy about what you have. And we're going to be painting our sky, like I would say 2/3 of the way down. And it's going to be split up in the middle with like this nudish pink color. But we're going to see how this turns out because doesn't always go to plan. Okay, this is way more pink than I wanted. So let me see if I can rectify this. Nope. Where I have all these colors. Okay, that's definitely more of what I was going for. So let me just take that off as best as I can. Whoops, that's way too dark, so water it down. Maybe violet is more the color that I'm trying to go for here. But yes, I am going to try and blend this like that. And then grab more of that lilac or violet, whatever. And extend it. That's kind of the max amount that I want to extend it because this is going to be a green pasture. Actually, oh my gosh, I just realized I did something not so smart. Okay, I'm going to extend this all the way because I forgot that I taped my piece of paper up a bit more. I wanted it to look like a photograph. So what I'm going to have to do is adjust this, the heights of the colors a tiny bit. I have to make my nude a little bit higher. And then like everything needs to be shifted upwards a little bit. I'll just paint over this with green, not a problem. But I do want this to be a little bit lighter, more delicate. Maybe it'll probably dry that way. So I should stop fussing about it and just go with it. But I do want the top, like it's still too blue for me. So I'm gonna, sorry, too purple for me. I wanted it to be more lilac-y, if that's even the color I'm trying to go for. I don't know anymore. I think I'm going way too far with this. Like, I'm being too picky on this color and it's unnecessary. So don't do what I'm doing, is basically what I'm trying to say. Because you're wasting your, we just spent 5 minutes on this and this should have been like 30 seconds max. So I am going to stop with this gradient before I drive myself crazy. So I want this to dry like halfway because I want to use the wet and wet technique to add some clouds, but I don't want it to be soaking wet like it is now. And it wouldn't have been if I didn't keep piling on more layers. So let's just wait for this to dry a tiny bit. Okay, I think it's probably still a little too wet, but I'm going to test it anyways. So I want to take like a lilac or a blue. I'm watering it down a tiny bit. And we're just going to apply it in these tiny cloud formations along the top here. As you can see, I still cannot decide on my color choice. So just keep painting on these clouds. And you can leave some gaps. Like I kind of wanted the nude part to be a little more spaced out and cloudless, but it didn't work out that way. I'm using my size 1, by the way, if anyone is wondering, for the clouds here. I don't really like how my clouds turned out. I'm being totally honest. This painting is not going to plan. But not everything in life can, I guess. So I'm gonna leave this before I mess it up even more. Hopefully yours looks better than mine does. Luckily the clouds are not the main features of this painting anyway. So now we're gonna switch gears and we are gonna pick up some green because we're gonna be painting the field, excuse me, the beautiful field. So about 1/3 of the way up is how you want to paint this, I would say. And you can intermix different shades of green in there if you want. But make it nice and vibrant and potent so it sticks out, or it stands out more than your butchered sky. If you painted your sky like I did. All right. So, we also want to paint a little bit of shrubbery above our horizon line. So I'm going to switch to my size 1 again, and I'm going to be using darker colors for this, or the same colors, but I'm just going to add some black to darken it. So actually, I'm going to start with a lighter color for the tops of my trees or shrubs, whatever you want this to be. And then I'm going to gradually make it darker as I move downwards. And I encourage you to make your shrubs uneven, like have one side a little bit higher than the other, just to add a little bit of variety to your painting. And I wasn't going to leave this white gap, but I kind of like it now that I've painted it. Okay, I'm actually going to go back on what I said and fill that in. I don't like the white space. Okay. So that looks nice, I think. Now we've got the main background portion painted on. Now comes what is going to bring all of this together, and that is these beautiful flowers that are gonna go on top here. But before I do that, I'm gonna add a little moon with white acrylic paint. Somewhere where it's going to be most visible. It's a very delicate moon. I'll do a little close up there so you can see it a bit better. Quite nice. Maybe a North Star over there. Okay, maybe a few more stars while we're at it. Make it look a little magical. Okay. So we have to wait for our foreground to dry before we can paint on our beautiful delicate flowers. So let's let it dry and we'll come back. Okay, so I think that that's dry. I hope it is. You can choose to paint whatever flowers you want, but I'm going with the purple theme simply because it makes sense because the sky is purple. So I'm gonna paint on some stems first. And I'm going to try using like this very light limeish green first and see if that shows through. If not, I mean, you could also switch to acrylic paint. That's completely acceptable as well. But it looks like mine is quite visible and vibrant. The key is to load on as much pigment as you can with very little water, or as little water as you can manage. See, mine like starts to not spread really easily when there's not enough water. So you can plop on as much as of these stems and whatnot as you want. I do want to have a mix of these brighter ones and darker ones as well. I'm just going to pick up some darker pigment. I'm going to add some black to it. Okay, I have to switch to my size quadruple 0 because it's starting to drag at the top, which makes it look not very good. And don't forget to add leaves as well. And I'm adding a bunch of like short grass everywhere too, just so that it's not just full of these long flowery stems. Always want to add some variety to your painting. Variety is great. So before I paint any more of these guys, I am going to paint on these purple flowers just to see what it looks like, you know, with what I have painted here already. So I'm gonna use these like chalky colors that I have that come in this palette, like these eggshell colors, because they'll probably be more transparent. Sorry, not transparent. They'll be more opaque. So, oh yeah, that's beautiful. What a gorgeous color. I'm gonna grab some like darker purple just to add it to the base of these flowers. They kind of remind me of peonies, or ponies, like as my husband likes to call them. It's so funny. So I'm just adding that darker, like neon purple to the base of each flower, just to give it a little bit of contrast. And then I'm also picking up some white that I'm adding, and then it sort of ties everything together. And like I said, I love these paints. I love that they're so opaque. Even the white is opaque enough that it makes all the difference in these flowers. So I'm gonna add some more of these little guys on the bottom here. And you can add as many, as little of these flowers as you want. You can even make them different colors. There's nothing stopping you from experimenting. I want to just add a few more to fill in some of the gaps that I have. Like a lot of mine are just kind of floating, which is fine. You can hardly tell, but I am going to add stems to at least some of the floating ones so they don't look totally floating. Okay, I think, okay, actually, sorry, one more thing that I'm going to add because it'll make it look like a fairyland is these little white splatters. So I'm watering down white acrylic paint. You could probably use watercolor as well. And I'm just tapping it against a brush to give this the field at least this illusion that there's like these white wildflowers or something growing there. And you can add some physically as well, little dots here and there. And just adding some whites to the tops of my flowers. Whoops. And I think I'm just about done with this. I really like how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think about this. You can peel your tape off if you applied it as well, and you'll have these nice clean borders. And I really like how this turned out. I hope that you guys did too. I think the sky actually ended up looking not too bad with the contrast of the purple flowers. So thank you so much for watching. Please hit like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment. I love reading your comments. And subscribe. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.